this game kind of turned out like our season, a season of two halves. We started out very well this season, and we sputtered a little bit. Didn't handle success very well. This game was kind of like that, except it was flipped. Early in the game, we weren't very good on third down on either side of the football. And at halftime, we talked about that, about converting some third downs and getting our offense going. And we were able to do that the second half. First half, we were 1 for 7. It wasn't pretty. Defense kept us in the game for the most part with the takeaways. With that being said, didn't really score a lot of points off takeaways, not enough. But you knew that going into this game. It was not the game we anticipated that took place last year, a high-scoring affair. It was not the case. Their quarterback scares you to death, Tate. He made the one run on third down, and I said, if he starts doing that, we're going to be in trouble. Second half, we were able to run the football, and that was good to see. We owned the possession time almost 35 minutes. Had a big night. Offensive line did a pretty nice job. It was a game that I'm glad it didn't get away from either team with the emotions of this game. I viewed some college football today, and when these rivalry games take place, a lot of emotions come out, and you see bad football. You really do, and it takes away from the game because that's what people put on television. I know, I worked on television. They show that rather than the game, the fights and all the pushing and the shoving. And ours was pretty clean for the most part. There was a little bit shoving, but it wasn't bad at all. So I commend Arizona, obviously their coach, for making sure those guys were calm, and I think our guys did a pretty good job. Not saying we didn't have any penalties because we had some fouls, but all in all, it was a game that we needed to win, to be quite honest. We needed to win this game. We needed to find out how to win again, back-to-back games. We went through this streak of 5-1, and then we had lost 4 in a row. And you need to learn how to win. And winning this game was important in the fact that you beat an Oregon team. And if you lose this game, it takes a lot away from you. It takes a lot away from your momentum. So now we'll wait, and we'll find out where we're going, and have a bowl game, and then hopefully be in position where we can win another game. So I think our players are excited. I challenged our football team this week. This game was about our seniors, and to send them off with a win. It's the last time those guys will ever play in this stadium. I told them, well, eventually you guys will be seniors. A lot of you young guys, you don't realize that yet. But one day you'll walk into that stadium and be the last game you ever play as a Sun Devil. So let's send them out winning. And the team was able to do that, and I'm thankful for them for that. Questions?
Coach Michael Caratino, Sports Hangover. You talked obviously about the running game in the second half, but from where the offensive line was, obviously the shift way back in the Michigan State game, but to see that come to fruition tonight and just them road grade and dominate in the second half, what does that mean going forward?
Well, it means we're losing 5 of them because they're seniors. That's what that means. So there'll be some head scratching here, but they did a nice job, of running the football. And running's hard because it takes the mindset to run the football because it's not always pretty. We started out running, and the first play we didn't make a yard. It was -4, something like that. But we ended up running it 55 times. So that's a lot of runs. We passed it, not as much, but we just felt like we'd run the ball because of the coverages they were playing. They were nervous about our receivers. They were guarding. A lot of times they dropped 3 guys in coverage. They only rushed 3. A lot of times they were playing some coverage where they wanted to protect those guys. So we felt when that happened, let's go run the ball. They played with a light group in the back end because they were worried about our speed on the perimeter. We didn't hit some. We missed a couple. We missed a couple throws. But it's good to have guys like that can run fast on the perimeter because it makes you defensively. It makes you nervous. So that helps your run game.
Coach Matt Roy, Cronkite News. Eno had 34 carries in the second half. It was kind of like you said, Eno, this is your game, go win. Can you tell us kind of what the thought process was going into the second half and how he kind of responded?
Well, it was, I always defer because I just feel like you get extra possession if it works out right, and it did. We were able to kick a field goal. And then we get the ball back obviously, in the opening of the third quarter. And it was important that we got a drive going, and we leaned on Eno a little bit. And we said we're going to run the ball, and that was the intentions. And we stuck with it. And we converted some third downs. That was the whole key, so we could get a flow in our offense. And I thought they played better the second half than they did the first half. And it was critical, especially at the end there, when we got around that 5 minutes, 6 minutes. I said, now here we go. We gotta start making first downs, make them use their timeouts, and we can bleed the clock. Because all of a sudden they went down and scored. You know, that kind of reminded me of Oregon. I said, let's don't get into that now. We don't want to get into that game. And we were able to bleed the clock. That was critical. And we work on that. We talk about it, but we did it. We ran the ball. Guys blocked. We didn't get any penalties. Jaden did a nice job at times, leaving the pocket and making yards for us. But that was our intentions, was to make them use their timeouts with about 6 minutes left, almost 8 minutes really, and just take that clock all the way down, and it worked out for us this time.
Coach Michelle Gardner, Arizona Republic. To piggyback on that, Eno kind of ran like he owned the game, like he really wanted this. And if this is his last game here, what can you say about his legacy and what he has done in his years here?
Well, a guy that when we got here, I think had about 8 carries. No one really knew who Eno Benjamin was. And then he broke all those records last year with a sturdy offensive line, a bunch of seniors, or juniors that became seniors this year. We lost a couple guys, and then all of a sudden he was thrust in a position where, and we talked about it, this ain't the same offensive line. And by the way, you're playing with a freshman quarterback. So they're going to stack 8 guys in the box early in the season, and this is going to be tough sledding for you. I said, I'll get you more involved in the passing game. I think going into this game, he was second in the nation with attempts to the running back, because we were trying to get him the ball because we knew people were going to stack the box. So this run thing has been work in progress all year, and it paid dividends tonight, and he was the beneficiary of it. And to his credit, I think he's got 1,000 yards rushing again, so that's not the season he had last year, but probably a better season because of what he had to deal with. You know, a freshman quarterback, 2 freshman offensive linemen, that's hard. And, you know, early we paid for that. But we got better at the end, and hopefully we can continue to get better running the football. And next year will be a big year for us because we'll have some more young guys up there. So we'll see how it works.
Coach Cheerson Susel, NBC Phoenix. You mentioned that the team, for the most part, kept its composure
yes.
and its emotions. There have been games this season that wasn't the case. Do you feel that that's sort of a sign that this team's maturing?
I'm not going to say that too fast, but I will say this. When I mean emotions, I mean doing silly things, getting into fights. You know, that's bad football. And you saw it across the country. You know, and I always hate for this last week of college football because as the rivalry games begin and all the emotions come out, and sometimes it's before the game, it's a mess. And I don't like that. The game is too precious for that to be the headline. You know, it just mars the game, and it just makes the game bad. It makes it look bad. So I'm glad we stayed away from that. Both parties, and that was good. That was a good thing.
Chris Cartman, Sun Nova Source. Herm, in the moment, maybe it's hard to know exactly the significance of the outcome of a game or two, but what do you make of just the way that you guys were able to end this season after losing 4 games in a row and then coming back to beat Oregon and Arizona in terms of the big picture of your program?
Well, I think you got to thank the coaching staff for that, and the players, their resolve. We talked about it. They didn't handle success, to be quite honest. And, you know, a lot of young people do not know how to handle success. It was too easy. You get 5-1 and you think, we're pretty good. You know, and you don't think you have to work at it. You got to work at it. Because all of a sudden, you know, the arrow's pointed at you. You were a good team, you know, so people are getting up to play you. You know, before we were underdogs. I mean, we beat 3 ranked teams this year. We were an underdog. We like that role. We're fine. Underdog, yeah, man, let's go, you know. But how about when you're not the underdog? How about being, you know, and I challenged them last night. I said, why don't the team that beat Michigan and State and Cal and Oregon, I want those guys to show up tomorrow. Those guys. Now, the other guys borrowed your uniform. I want them other guys. You go put them uniforms on again. You be those guys tomorrow. Let's see if you can do that. Help me out. Can you do that tomorrow? Can you win another game? Can you win 2 in a row now? And that was the challenge all week, to be quite honest, is they got to grow up. They got to grow up. You just can't live on what you did yesterday. I've never done that. I was taught that as a young man by my father. So what you did yesterday means nothing. It's what you're going to do today. And that's how I'm built. Whatever happened today is over. I'm moving ahead tomorrow. This game's over. It's done. I ain't worried about it no more. When I walk upstairs, I'm done. Doesn't mean anything to me. I'm going to get ready and figure out who we play in this bowl game and get this team ready with all the practice time we're going to have with all these young guys, and we're going to get some young freshmen in here that'll come in here to get to practice with us. I'm excited about that. So they got to learn that. And that's what young people sometimes don't understand. They want everything fast because we live in this world. I can press a button and get all my information. They got to work at it. They go, nah, it's too hard, man. I'm press a button. Can't press a button in football. You got to work. If you're not willing to work, you can't get better. We got to get better because this was headed to be in a disappointing season. To be quite honest, you're 5-1, then all of a sudden you kind of fall by the wayside, And we can say there's young guys. I get all that, but that's just an excuse. There ain't no excuses around here. So we finally won 2 in a row. Now we got to win another one. And then next year we got to go win another one. That's just how I'm built. I don't care about what happened in the past. It's about going forward for me. So we're trying to build a program. I said it. Fans will watch them on the grass grow up. They'll watch 25 more guys coming in here. They're going to be out there next year. And they're going to grow up. And eventually we'll grow up and hopefully be a good team one day. That's just my aspirations, and that's how I think.
Coach Michael Caratino, Sports Hangover. And to piggyback off that a little bit too, obviously with Jaden, his development all year, he said he was calm. Sky's the limit for him, but as you see him going forward, what, I guess I don't like to use expectations, but what are you seeing from him, obviously, as he goes forward into the future?
He can be as good as he wants to be because he likes football. He likes what you got to do to be a good football player. Some guys like football because I get to wear a number and people know I'm a football player. He likes the minutiae of football. He likes to study it. He wants to learn it. He's in this building every day. Even off day, he comes in the building. He'll come sit and talk with me. We'll have our daily talk. Because he understands that going forward, this is his football team now. He's going to be on all the posters. All the pressure's going to be on him. Can you imagine the pressure's going to be on this kid next year? See, this year it was like he's freshman. Nah, he's all right. Then all of a sudden, wait a minute. Can you imagine what this guy, the burden he's going to have to carry next year? Right? And I got to help him with that. So it's not fair, but that's the way it's going to be. We all know it. We all sit here and kind of like, okay, he'll be on every poster. He'll be on tickets. He'll be on everything. Right? Jaden Daniels. He can't do it by himself. He needs help. We got to help the guy. And we got to go out and recruit. We start Monday. And we got to get players in there to help him because he can't do it by himself. So, but that's the position he plays and what he's done this year. I think it turned a lot of people's eyes. You guys thought I was kidding when I said we're probably going to start a freshman quarterback. I wasn't kidding. That's the way it is. And the last time I checked, you can gain a lot of knowledge, but until you're allowed to play, you can gain no experience. So you got to let them play. And they're going to make a lot of mistakes. The more you play, the more mistakes that show up. And we played in some games where we beat the Sun Devils. We beat the Sun Devils up a bunch of times in those games. And when you do that, you don't win. So you got to get tired of doing that because when you don't win, it's not a lot of fun. It's got to hurt your belly. Got to hurt you. You don't win. And hopefully these guys are learning that. I'll find out. We'll find out. That's one thing we'll do. We'll find out.
Coach Nick Hodell, AZ Sports Box.
Yes, sir.
3 straight Territorial Cup victories now. How do you feel these rivalry games and bowl games help you build your program, especially in just your second season right now?
Well, I wasn't involved in 3 of them. I've only been involved in 2, so I won't take credit for anything that I have not done. This is all about the players, all about our fan base. When you think about rivalry games, it's what makes college football so unique. It's a wonderful thing because it's passed down from generation to generation. The stories are told. This game's been going on for 120 years. I wasn't here, so it just keeps going. And I'm involved in it now. We're very fortunate that we've won 2. But next year, when we play again, it doesn't matter. It never matters in this game. What your record is, who you play, when you play them. If you play them there, they come here. It's a great game to be involved in. You know, when you think about it, a lot of stories are told. A lot of stories are told a little bit different too. You know, it's depending who's telling the story, right? I don't get involved in all that. I just know that it's a great rivalry game, and we're really fortunate to have won 2. Thank you, folks.